Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Paranormal Tuesday. Of course, we are joined by my co-host, Mr. Robert Dyer. Good evening, Bob. You all right, buddy?
Hi, Nick. How are you doing? Yeah.
I'm all good. How are you?
Too bad, mate. Too bad.
So you can.
Lovely to see you again.
For the first time, after weeks of trying, we managed to get it sorted, and Mr. Carl Blissett is with us. Round of
Hi,
applause.
everybody.
How we got him on?
Yeah,
Tell ya.
Charlie boy.
2 hours.
You all right,
Yes.
mate?
Too bad, mate. Not too bad.
So, everyone, well, like I said, welcome to this week's episode. We have a different episode for you today. We have an exciting episode. Of course, Carl is going to tell you about some of his experience, so you get to know a bit about Carl, of course. And before we do get into before we do get into things, don't forget, we are sponsored by Paranormal Technology. You're not just buying equipment, you're buying an experience. And as we mention every week, this is all we use. All we use is Mark's equipment, and it's absolutely fantastic. And like I keep saying every week, ladies and gentlemen, on your first order from Mark, just show him that you've liked the page. And of course, like Paranormal Living, he will give you 10% off your first order on all equipment. So absolute win-win. And he has now just done a spirit box as well, which will be coming to us very, very soon, which we will be able to use on our lives, which I'm really, really excited for.
Can't wait.
So, yes. So I'm looking forward to tonight's episode. Of course, we're going to do something a bit different. But first of all, before we do a few of the topics this evening, obviously Friday night, we had an interesting evening. Unfortunately, we couldn't go live because everything we tried didn't go to plan. But I will say we had a fantastic bonding session. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely did. Definitely.
Very.
I was absolutely gutted, everyone, because like you say, 3, 4, I think it ended up 5 places we went.
Yeah. It was
So
5 places, yeah.
Yeah, so originally obviously meant to be Clitheroe Castle, and then obviously that went a bit wrong. And then obviously we moved to a few other places, and unfortunately they were either shut or we couldn't get in or whatever. So never mind. So we thought we'd obviously come live tonight, and no matter what, we will be live this weekend because that has been planned, and we're all good for this weekend.
Tune in for that one.
Yeah,
Be good.
will be with us as well. So it's going to be exciting. So, Carl, obviously, people have seen you on camera, but not necessarily know much about you. So, just give us an introduction. So, what was your first paranormal experience? We'll start with that first.
My very first paranormal experience would have been when I used to live in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a museum in the Northeast, and I had things touching me when there was no one around me. It was just me on my own. I've had objects thrown. I've seen quite a few things.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Whereabouts was that? What museum was it?
That was the Northeast Aircraft Museum in Sunderland.
Oh, is that the one the Most Sorted did on that episode?
Yeah, no, started with that after we went.
That looks like a cool place. I'd love to. There's obviously the one in Blackpool we spoke about a few times. The Hangar 42, is it? Or 52 or something? Which I know.
Yeah.
That's the one. So, how did you actually find? What was your initial sort of feeling about that when you were experiencing them things touch you and things flying around the room? What was your first thought? Because I know I'd be running. I'm running.
I thought it was quite interesting, like because there's no one around you and things are happening around you that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting, and then to look further into it, and then delve a bit more into the paranormal. It was a great thing to do.
Yeah. Did you? I do, like you say, I remember watching the episode about that, and they did mention about the gentleman, wasn't he? Who was killed in an accident there.
Right. Yeah.
Did you ever sense anything about him?
When I was up there, there was a situation when I was there. I heard like a whistling noise, and then I heard a man speaking, saying he was looking for his boots.
Right.
And I mentioned it to the owner, and he said, it's strange that he said no one knows this, but the airman that died on the airfield, he died his legs were amputated basically from the crash.
Whoa.
And these boots had his name on the inside. And they said that he'd been seen a couple of times looking for his boots. And then they were digging up the airfield, and apparently they found the actual boots itself buried, and they're in the museum, but nobody ever seen them.
Wow.
That was amazing.
I wonder then if he's stuck, like, because obviously he would have been buried or cremated. So I wonder if that's why he's still lingering there, because obviously that's what he's missing, that part of his uniform.
Could be possible, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And obviously, many of you know as well, we did go to the class together at Blackpool, the awareness class, which obviously where we first originally met, which is a couple of years ago now, which is crazy how time flies by.
So
and then now you're officially on the Paranormal Living team, mate, and it's absolutely fantastic to have you on
The
board.
pleasure, mate.
I absolutely love it. Thank you.
Yeah. So, guys, do remember this evening, get your comments in and your thoughts on some of the things we will be talking about. If you have any questions for either me, Bob, or Carl, or as a group, just put them in the comment section or send us a private message as usual to the page. Also, don't forget, for those watching on YouTube, remember to like our Facebook page, Paranormal Living. Get us on Apple Podcasts, which this week's podcast, I am interviewing Bob, which is this side to me. He will be talking about his experiences and you getting to know him as well with his stories. And, of course, Instagram and other forms of social media we are on. So make sure you get us on there. And I did mention, so we are just short of 500 likes on Facebook, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you, everyone, for all your likes. Once we get to 500 likes, I'll be putting a post out there and we'll be doing a competition. So on this competition, all you have to do is comment on the competition. That is literally it. Just write a comment, tag someone in it, whatever you want to do. And we will be doing a draw in about a month's time from hitting the 500 like mark. And you will get your chance to win Paranormal Living merchandise, maybe a mug, hoodie, t-shirt, and you will get to official merchandise, which I think is really cool. And it's a thank you to each and every one of you, of course, for all your likes. Good evening, Michelle. Hope you're okay. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming on. Jordan, good evening. Hope you're right. You managed to get on this week, Jordan, on the live, because Jordan's normally a bit late. Normally, a few people have done that. The live's finished. It's just at the end, just catching it. So the topics for this evening, as I mentioned. So this is the first question. So guys, remember to get your comments in. Obviously, we're going to give our thoughts. Carl, we're going to start with you since it's your first official episode tonight. The first question is, do you believe in haunted forests? So woodland, like you say, forest, in the mountains, hills, we opened it up to that. But do you believe in haunted forest, woodland, etc.? Carl, I will go with you first, buddy.
Yes, I do. I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to a forest quite a while ago, and it was during the day, and you could see, hear footsteps walking behind you on the path.
Right, okay.
And turned around, there's nobody there, but it's hit and miss, really. Some places can be, haunted, but other places you might just have people messing about. It's just one of them. But I think some places, probably it's got a lot of history, then yeah, I do.
Yeah. What about you, Bob? What are your thoughts?
Well, I definitely do, yeah. I think there's more out there. Like I said, when you go into a forest, you don't know what to expect here. But it could carry energy from whatever. Like I said, it could be like shadows, or it could be just energy in itself, noises, footsteps, like Carl said. It could be anything. Yeah, I think it's totally true. Because it always makes you feel a bit eerie when you go into these places, you know what I mean? And forest and stuff like that, you always think, oh, someone watching me or whatever, you know what I mean? So it is a bit daunting, yeah. I would say, yeah, definitely.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
I agree with the same. When we went to Townley Hall and did the live, I do know in the woodland at the back of the hall and the grounds, they are haunted by John Townley, who is reportedly still wandering the grounds. And also Charles Townley. So when the Civil War was going on with the Roundheads and the Cavaliers.
Wow, that's interesting.
Apparently Charles Townley was buried in the grounds of Townley, but no one knew whereabouts he's buried. And every now and again you can hear his boots walking through the grounds at the back of the hall.
Wow.
Yeah, and monks have all been seen. And even at Gawthorpe, though, I know it wasn't necessarily a forest or woodland. Well, there was technically, weren't there? There was woodland around us.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The experience we got just on the grounds, I thought, was pretty immense.
It was a surrounding area as well, wasn't it? Like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Michelle has put yes. So guys, remember to get your comments in. The question is, do you believe in haunted forest, woodland, etc.? Good evening, Karen. Hope you're okay. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Jordan's put I was wondering why you wasn't live, so just turn the notifications on. So guys, do remember to at the top of the page you can do see first and turn the notification on for the page, because I know a few people have had issues sometimes not seeing everything we post. So just make sure you do that. But yeah, I think from especially these old grounds where the holes are buried, and even like the battlegrounds, which are now wooded area.
Yeah.
Obviously, the place where I know there's a place we want to go to, that where the Battle of Preston was, which is now obviously all woodland, as far as I'm aware of. Obviously, there'd be so much history and so much energy still soaked into the ground, I believe.
No, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's amazing, honestly. Yeah, it was a bit daunting when we was there anyway, wasn't it? It was all trees around it. It was crazy.
And there is something eerie, isn't there, about walking in a forest at night time.
No, definitely.
There's something behind you. So, guys, remember, get your comments in. Do you believe in haunted forests? We have a comment here. Oh, Denise, hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you for coming on. Denise is with us, sending our love. She's not feeling too well. We are just talking about our first question of the evening, which is, do you believe... I'll take the comment off so you can see the picture. Do you believe in haunted forests? That is our first question of the evening. But yeah, I think... there's a few places where, like you say, we have planned to go on, including forest and woodland.
Oh, exactly.
To see. Even though,
you know what I mean? Not a lot of mud.
Honestly,
You know what I mean?
last weekend of jumping out of the car for literally 5 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
my
Yeah, I didn't think
that was mental.
Oh, dear. Carrie, good evening. Hope you're okay. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you will be, Denise, because we're really, really excited for this weekend. And we can't do it without you. Because look what happened last week. I couldn't get anywhere and the things didn't go to plan. Never mind.
She put a curse on us. Get better soon, girl.
Definitely. I think
get better soon.
Just going back to what Richard said, obviously, when I interviewed Richard Felix about that stone tape theory and the grounds again. I know I just sort of reiterating what was said just while obviously these comments are coming in. I do think there's just a build-up of energy in these places. I think it just soaked into the ground, soaked into probably the trees. And Mark and Carrie are on this evening. Shout out to Mark, obviously, he runs Paranormal Living. Paranormal Living? I run Paranormal Living. He runs Paranormal Technology, where we do get all our equipment from. Is it going to be one of them nights where I can't talk again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark, have you, Carrie, or your team ever done a haunted forest? I do mean to share a video on our page from Mark, which he did send me, because he was in a graveyard. Did a little investigation in a grave. Wow. Yeah, he got some amazing stuff. So I'll have to share it on our page so you can see. I got the music box going off, and this is just like I said, just daylight. It was pretty immense on the video he sent me. But yeah, I'm really, like you say, really excited to see what we can pick up. And definitely going back to Townley, I think that's the plan, to do the rest of the hall and the grounds at the back. I think that's definitely.
Oh, definitely. That's a lot of areas to cover as well, isn't it? That's what I mean.
Honestly, the ground up to Townley, it literally goes to the sort of the top end of Burnley. It goes on for miles. Probably get lost. Carrie's put no, but we're doing one soon. Carrie, you need to let us know where you're going and how it goes, because I really, I'd love to see that. And
send us your photos.
Yes, definitely. There was a place, actually, I was watching a live. It randomly come up on TikTok, so I can't remember who the paranormal group was, but they did a witches' forest, which I think was near the Midlands, and they had 3 witches with them, and obviously communicating with the trees and all this kind of stuff. They got some weird stuff, and that, like you say, that was there was definitely nothing fake about that. I can tell you that it was pretty immense. Good evening, Betty. I hope you're okay. So we're going to move on to a video now. We have 2 videos this evening. Like you say, we're doing things a bit different, like we did in an earlier episode. So this first video is of an apparition, as you'll see from the CCTV, from the White Lion pub in Hampshire. This was taken on the 15th of 15th of August 2018. It is believed to be a female, as this happens as a regular occurrence. So take a look, guys. Let me know what you think. So it's where the window is on the left-hand side, as you can see.
Oh, wow.
So this happens quite regular, so I believe. 15th of October.
I mean, how can you debunk that? You can't.
It's interesting, that one.
Man.
From the Daily Mail on YouTube. So I'm just going to play that again for those who may have just missed it. But tell me your thoughts. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's it's fake? Do you think there is a rational explanation to it? So we'll start again. But I think this is awesome. I'll see what you lot think in a moment, and we'll get into it. But it definitely looks like a dress or something flowing.
Yeah. It does.
So this was the White Lion pub in Hampshire on the 15th of October 2018, believed to be a female, and this happens on a regular occurrence from the CCTV. So guys, what do you think? So Bob, on this one, we will start with you. What are your thoughts on that CCTV footage?
I would say it's hard to debunk that one because, you know, to me it looks real. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's the way it's manifested itself. It's like, you know, there's just nothing there to say that it could, you know, that it's not real. Because there's no, how can I say, there's nothing else moving or nothing like that. Nobody's house is obviously on the stairs or nothing like that. Yeah, I would believe it is real. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was looking at the ray of light going across the wall downstairs. So I don't know if that's coming off the light or what. But there again, it still shows itself. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you look at it now,
that's pretty epic.
It doesn't cross that beam. So yeah, I would say
that's a fair point. That is a fair point. Carl, what? Sorry, go on, Bob. Sorry, I thought you finished. Bob, carry on. Sorry, I thought you'd finished.
Yeah, I was just finishing anyway. It was just like saying about that beam. When it crosses, it doesn't have no contact with that beam at all. So I'm saying it is real, because I wouldn't be able to debunk that. I would not be able to debunk that because there's no obvious reason why it can be debunked because it looks so real. I don't know. I'm not going to sit on the fence. So I agree. Yeah, I think it's real.
I think it's real. Yeah, Carl, we'll go with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's real as well. It's like Bob said. It's hard to debunk because there's no source for it to come from anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've got the light on the side there, but it's not like it's a shadow or anything.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It is very good.
Very good footage.
So do you think it's real? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you can see arm or something on there as well.
I agree. I think it's real. And a lot of these pubs, like the White Lion, Red Lion, are old buildings, aren't they? They're like in old hotels and them kind of places. And I do, looking at that, if it was a shadow, you'd realise it was someone under the camera walking near the camera.
Exactly.
Nothing literally of that. It's just a white mist. And like you said, then it just as if it shoots straight down the stairs. And it's definitely an amazing piece of footage.
Some sort of energy. Got to be.
Yeah. But like you say, I think if someone was near the camera, you'd expect it to show a shadow. Put my teeth back in. We have some comments in here. Michelle, where I live, it's just all grass and trees on the front. I've always said it's haunted, going back to obviously the first question. Yeah, well, Michelle did send me a picture. Was it last week before? An orb outside the house and this mist, and it's a little blue orb. It's pretty amazing. I'll have to, if it's all right, Michelle, to share it on the page. Ballybally Forest, said to be Northern Ireland's most haunted forest. Wow, we'll have to take a look at that. You have to film it for us, Carrie, or if you're doing a live or anything.
Oh, definitely.
Share it on the page because I'll have to.
Chuck some footage over and have a look.
Mark's put amazing. Betsy's amazing. Denise, that's amazing. It looks like a woman looking out the window. And then she walks as if she's going down the stairs. Definitely. Jordan looks real. Carrie, amazing catch. On Kenneth, he's on the fence. I think it's fake as the whole picture moved just before. Also, did someone see this? If not, why was the CCTV checked? I'd need to know the full story. That is absolutely fine. That was just a story. But apparently it's a regular occurrence of this mist or this, as you're saying, apparently this female keeps happening on the stairs and happens on the CCTV, so I believe. So yes, it's definitely interesting. This is why I love obviously different people's thoughts. Next one. Are we ready for the next picture of this evening? So I don't know if many people have seen this before. I've seen it. I'm thinking it's in one of the paranormal books I do have. A man took this photo of his young daughter playing in their living room. and the resulting image clearly shows a ghost, I can't talk, ghostly crawling form of light energy in front of her. It also seems as if the little girl can see it too. Could it be the deceased mother?
Wow.
Looks like they got a tail. You know, because obviously where it passed the girl to the what they're saying is the spirit on the floor is playing. But then you
looks
see
like energy though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Going, where's it going? Is that a mirror over there or a picture?
I think it's an old TV. This looks like 80s, 90s. So
wow.
yeah, I think so guys, get your things. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's not real? Do you think there's a rational explanation, as we always like to say? I'm looking at Carl's face in the camera, and both very.
It looks like an old one. It's quite old.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It must be 90s, maybe.
I
don't have the specific thing of when the picture was taken or anything. Good evening, Rachel. Hope you're all right.
I would say, yeah. I would say it's real, definitely, because you can't really sort of mess around with photos like that in them days. I wouldn't have thought. I'm sure you could.
I imagine if it's 90s, it'd be a flash camera, wouldn't it? You know, like you to the kiosk and get it developed.
It looks wow. I have seen it before, but I've never seen it like that. You know what I mean? I've never really had a proper look at it. I was just flipped through it but when you look at it, it looks I'm going to say I couldn't debunk that. No, it's too old, that picture, I think. So I don't know. But I'll say yes, I believe it.
Carl, what about you, buddy?
It's more like energy, isn't it? Really, it's like a formation of energy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's like an old photo, so it's hard to manipulate something like that in them days.
Yeah, definitely. Good evening, Lex. I hope you're okay. Denise's put, it reminds me of an Egyptian bare chest white lion.
I would say that. It looks a bit Egyptian, doesn't it?
White lion.
With
white
the ass. Or the head.
With the white Egyptian head covering.
Yeah.
Told you I can't talk this evening. It's every time I do these lives, someone comes in the room and starts trying to talk to me or something. Affects my speech every time.
It looks like it's got a pair of pants on.
I'm not gonna lie, I am on the fence with this one. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. It could be real. Obviously, it might not be. I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I am sort of on the fence. But saying that though, if you look at where the feet are on the picture, you can see them as clear as day. It literally looks like someone on all fours.
Definitely.
You know, like if it is the mother, she'd be playing with her while she's sat on the floor, wouldn't she?
I'm just looking at energy stream. Where's that's coming from?
Yeah, that's why I'm sort of on the fence.
That's quite weird.
It must be Denise, because it's every time. Tell you, my speech decides to go. Mark's put not sure on this one, and Jordan is not sure either. Kenny has put the first video. Apparently has been debunked. Someone using a vape pen.
Oh,
apparently so. Yeah, on the. But I think if it was a vape pen, I don't know if it'd flow like that. But obviously, I'm not sure. But if that is the case, it's very well done. I will say that. Yeah, Betty's put not sure on this one as well. Okay, definitely interesting thoughts on that one. So we have. Okay, we'll do another picture, then we'll do another video, I think. So in regards to these next picture, there's two pictures from the same person. So I'll show them you separately, see what you think. So the gentleman who took these pictures was called William Hope. He was a spirit photographer who came from Crewe. And he was born in the 1860s, and he started doing spirit photography from 1900 to when he passed in 1933. And this is one of the pictures he did get. So this is, I think this was taken about 1910, 1913, roughly, around that time.
Wow.
So he was highly regarded by Harry Price, who was a paranormal investigator back in the early 1900s himself, who did obviously the Bali Rectory as well.
Was it some sort of angel? It looks like, doesn't it? I don't know. It looks like it's got
So, yeah, his work and a lot of his photography was world famous in the early 1900s up to his death.
Wow.
And if you type in William Hope on Google, there is so many images. So, Carl, we will start with you on this one, buddy.
This one, I think I'm a bit on the fence with it at the minute, with this one.
Yeah.
Because with the old-fashioned cameras they used and things like that, it was, and they used to use like the flash thing, didn't they, with the powder in them days.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence for that one at a minute.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't think it's real, to be honest.
Yeah. Bob, what about yourself?
I'm going to say it's real because of the age of it. It was very hard to debunk in them days.
That is a very, very good point.
And by looking at it, there's two faces on there as well, plus the one at the top.
Yeah, it looks like a young girl. To me, the one, what looks like a young girl, which is just below the main head in the mist, looks too clear. As the one above that looks obviously like a bit of a shadow sort of picture.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Didn't spot. I'm looking at the heads in the ectoplasm. Yeah, which obviously back then there was so much photography of physical mediumship with regards to ectoplasm and seances and things. Was it around this time?
That was quite. Yeah. It's hard to debunk it.
Yeah, I'm sort of on the fence. To be honest, I think it's pretty. I'm half and half. But
yeah, I'm going to go with it.
Like ectoplasm.
I think it's real.
See, I think with me, the mist makes sense. You know, like we've seen, like some of the pictures we've got. You know, we've seen that mist and ourselves and things forming. But I think the heads are too clear.
Yeah,
it's too clear. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm still going to say I think it's real. I mean, in them days, they didn't have the technology to, you know what I mean, do false pictures. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But as far as I'm going to go with it. I think it's real.
Real. Carl, did you see on the, what are you, buddy? Let's take our so we can see
on
you
the
first.
fence for that one.
On the fence.
Yeah, on the fence.
Well, so I'm going to tell you a story about William Hope shortly soon. But we do have one more video for you for this week's episode. Sorry, everyone. Things falling over on my desk here. So this second video was taken on a Ring doorbell. As obviously meant a lot of people know motion censored, so anything what walked past it lightens up. This was taken in Ontario, Canada. So the motion sensor went off. And the dog, there's no audio on this, but the dog did start barking, which made the woman aware, and then you get the notification on your phone. But there was no one there. So what are your thoughts on this, everybody?
A fly. There you go. A fly or a bug.
So this was Ontario, Canada. This was about 2 years ago, I think. A year or two ago. It wasn't overly too long.
Mind you saying that, you've got something swinging over there. What's that?
That could be like a hanging basket. It might just be the wind, that, in all fairness. But there is still something in that bottom corner. Let's start it again. I meant to cut that bit down.
I've ever seen wings.
There. So apparently, when this mist went off, and obviously something's made the doorbell go off, she thought a delivery had obviously happened and the dog was barking, but when she went to the door, there was no one there. I'll start again. So we can
Is that
see
some guy in the garden?
I was thinking that someone stood where that bush is.
Yeah.
Where?
It looks like some geezer.
The one straight
Where
in
the
front.
post is.
Yeah.
It looks like a person.
It's like someone stood behind the post in the bush.
Yeah, where the pillar is. Weird. Or it's either that or it's a bush. I don't know. It looks like a person. I don't know. It does.
So, Bob, we'll start with you because you were straight in there. It's real or fake, or there is a rational explanation to it all.
I'm going to go with a fly. I don't think it's real. I will question the thing swinging. I don't know what that was.
Mm-hmm. That was just a hanging basket, I think, in someone's garden.
And I'm sure there was some geezer in the corner by the pillar. But I could be wrong. Did you see that, Carl?
Wrong video.
Yeah, I see that, mate. Yeah.
He was right by the pillar, weren't he? There.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right next to the pillar.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually can't see that.
You can't see that, I can. But I don't know if it's a guy or it's I don't know. You know when you get like optical illusion light. But it looks like a guy to me. I don't know.
I say, could it be someone walking down the side of the house and the reflection of something has made it has gone past? Personally, I'm not that convinced on this one. I think there is a rational explanation. It's probably not spirit. It's probably a reflection of maybe someone walking past. Because obviously we don't know what's on the neighbour's side. Could it just be all windows, or and they're just a reflection of something?
I'd have to look at that, find that one out, and have a look at that because I'm sure some guys over in the corner. I'm sure he's in the back. I don't know.
Yeah, Jordan's put looks like a man.
There you go.
He needs to put his Bigfoot. Looks like a person in the bush and a spider across the lens. That is a very good point. With it being an outdoor, that's a very, very good point. Donna Murphy's put butterfly.
There you go.
Could have been spider, shadow. Kenny Gate was William Hope. It was who did the photography.
I actually, believe it or not, I actually thought it was a fishing net. You know, the kids' fishing net.
Well, this video, like you said, this is one of these like viral.
Anyway.
So we'll do one more time. Let's have a quick look.
It looks like a fishing net coming past. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Looks like it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's probably a rational explanation. So I think we're all on the same lines of this one, not convinced.
We're all on the same page on this one.
The thing swinging could be a flag. Most of the Canadians have Canadian flag outside on the poles. That point. So yeah, like you say, with the thing swinging, could it be the reflection of that off the light?
Possible.
In something.
Could it be a water droplet or something that's on the lens?
Well, there was one video I was going to use today. And then I watched it, and it was they say it's a Civil War soldier in Gettysburg, and it looks like a few people I think might have seen it. Looks like he walks past the cannons as the car driving.
Oh yeah.
It's actually not. If you can see there's droplets on the windscreen, so it's the way he drives, and it looks like something shoots across when it's just the water on the screen.
I've actually seen that one. Have you seen the other battlefield where they're all walking on the field? It's south.
No, I ain't seen that.
Gotta watch that one. That's crazy. The woman was just taking a photo. And all these soldiers was moving. I think it was. I'm trying to think where it is. Where the battlefield is in America.
What, the Gettysburg one? The Civil War?
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
You want to check that one out?
Well, it was interesting because when we spoke to Richard Felix, obviously he went there and he said he had an experience where he was pushed off. So I think that is definitely somewhere I would love to be able to go is to a battlefield, to see obviously what we could pick up on and obviously the amount of devastation and everything what's there. Surely you think there'd be something still.
No, exactly.
Denise put there, it could be condensation. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're all on the same boat of this one. That it probably is explainable.
I'm not convinced. That one's true. That one's true.
This is cool. This one. This is famous. This picture. I meant to use it on the live. So this is a picture of Freddie Jackson, who, as you can see, is behind that gentleman stood in the back. He died 2 days before this picture was taken.
Wow.
And the story is they believe that he has come back to be a part of the picture with his comrades. Because I think he died in an accident. I think it was just a freak accident in the RAF field, similar to what we were talking about earlier.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 days it was roughly. He passed away before this picture was taken, and there's his face as clear as day. I think this is awesome.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
amazing
awesome.
photo. Yeah.
Go on, Carl. We'll let you start with this one, bud.
Yeah, definitely. I know quite a lot about that photo. It's quite amazing, actually. He's just come back, I think, just to get a photo with his colleagues.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Definitely. I think it's quite sad.
It is.
But
I'm
that is too difficult to fake. Anything like that is... Because obviously, like you say, it's just zoomed in on the actual face. Because you can even see when you look at the back of where he stood, there is something next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Bob. What's your thoughts, buddy?
Well, I thought that worked out to be his best friend. I'm not too sure. When they was in battle together. Something like that, anyway. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it's something like that.
Yeah,
they
I
had
think that...
some sort of contact. Some sort of, I don't know. I'm sure it was his best friend. But yeah,
I think
that
it
is
was.
amazing.
I think it was his best friend.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think this is real. I think it's...
Oh yeah, I would never debunk that.
There's a few pictures you see on topic of, around this time of, the early 1900s, of like maids, when they're having the work photo, there's always someone in the background and they always tend to pick up and miss stuff. It happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think everyone saw Anita, I think it's real. Mark, I feel this is real, guys. I've seen this before. Very emotional, definitely. I think like 2 days before he tragically passed away. And then imagine what that thought must have been when that picture was developed and they looked into it. It's like, he's been stood behind me.
That's amazing, that is.
Let's again think it's real. This is amazing, definitely. I like the idea if it's real or not, definitely. But bless him. Wow. Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat with this one.
I'd love to know more about the history on that one. Definitely. Because that to me, it's got a lovely good story to it. I'm sure it has.
Like you said, what I got from the research of the picture, like you said, there was just an accident at the RAF field, like 2 days before, and he unfortunately passed away. And then obviously they had the photo to do, and obviously once it was developed, his face appeared in the photo. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
Is this the guy who was killed by a helicopter propeller? I'm not sure, Kenny. I don't know how he passed. I just know there was an accident on the RAF field. I don't know if he was in a plane and it come down, or it possibly could have been. I'm really not sure.
It was something to do with a plane. I know that.
Yeah, but I said, let's put it up one more time because I think. Oh, sorry everyone, it's just froze a sec. Bear with. It's an absolutely amazing photo, no matter what.
Wow.
Even if it wasn't real, for example, what a lovely thing to do to put his face in that picture and recognise him for what he did.
Oh,
but
exactly.
I 100% feel that's real. So we do have one more photo for you, and I did mention this guy, William Hope, who was a spirit photographer. As mentioned, born in the 1860s. His photography went viral in the early 1900s to his death in 1933. He was heavily praised by Harry Price, who was, of course, a parapsychologist, I think, was it? And
wow.
Yeah, in the 1930s. So this is another 3 of his images.
That is mad.
So this is the final one to do with William Hope. So obviously, once you've had your thoughts, Carl, we will start with you on this one, buddy. What your thoughts are?
I don't know. It's weird. It's strange. I know that. I'm a little bit on the fence with it, I think, to be honest.
Yeah.
Definitely. It just seems so that the first 2 pictures on there, they look so too clear. The faces are like really clear.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Bob, what do you think?
Well, I don't think it's real.
Fair enough.
And do you know why I'm saying that?
Why is that?
Because there's a curtain behind it. And heads can be popping through and they can be doing something to make it look. Can you see the curtain at the top?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? They can be poking their heads through. You know, no.
That's a good point, that. I never even thought about the curtain.
Yeah, there's a curtain, so they can be poking their heads through and you'll see like, and they can be putting smoke everywhere to make it look like there is. I don't know. No, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to debunk that one.
We've got a few comments here, and then I'm going to tell you a bit of something about William Hope.
Didn't he make his living through making these pictures?
Yes. Honestly, I'm not convinced about these. I'm not sure. It's funny how the curtain about the curtain behind them. While it's not taken in front of a wall. Very good point. I never even thought about that. And if you look at the first one, there is something behind the curtain. You can see like a dark line go across the curtain. You know.
Now I'd have to question that other one we looked at with that guy and the two faces.
I don't think it's real. Not convinced on this one. Wow.
Wouldn't you, Cole?
Yeah, definitely.
Question that one that we've seen previous, because that looks the same sort of thing, the same sort of line. If there's a curtain there, then obviously, yeah, it can be debunked. We'd have to look at that another time.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Nah.
So, are you ready for this little information about Mr. William Hope? As I mentioned, he was become obviously quite famous for being able to do this spirit photography. Apparently, in 1916, William Hope managed to dupe William Crooks with a fake spirit photograph of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He was using signs of double exposure. So when he was developing the pictures, obviously he was obviously back then they used plates. I think it was or something that they did it. Hope was first exposed in 1920 by Edward Bush, who caught Hope out using a trap. He sent a letter to Hope with a photograph of a living person, which he presented was his deceased son. He later attended a sitting with Hope. Hope produced a spirit extra, which was the same photograph he had been sent by the gentleman.
Yeah, but he made his living doing this sort of thing, didn't he?
Yeah, up to when he passed in 1933. And apparently, Mr. De Vega, a friend of Harry Houdini, attended a sitting with Hope. He found the dark conditions in the room suspicious and suspected that Hope had switched to plate. So, yeah, he was using plates.
I'd have questioned the curtain myself, but there you go.
Definitely interesting. And
sorry, mate. No.
This is what I like about these because he was. Right. I'd never heard of this gentleman until today, and as I was obviously getting the stuff ready for the show tonight, I found these pictures. So I thought I'll do a bit of have a look into obviously who he was, and obviously that's what we found out. And then definitely very interesting. But I think as well back then, you know, there is no saying that maybe some of the photos he did do were real, but because it wasn't happening often, and you know back then people were expecting loved ones to be in these pictures or spirit to be around them, and is he forced to having to make some of these fakes because people want it?
Well, he would do, wouldn't he? Because he wants to make money.
If you have a picture and there's nothing in it, he probably would have been like, well, you know, he's full of crap. You know, where's all this what people rave about? So is he stuck in that position where he has to keep forging stuff when sometimes things don't come through?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think I've debunked it in a way. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say no. It's not real.
Yeah, I'm. Like you said, there's not. The Curtis Transbox that William Hall was notorious for photographing. So we'll just put them up one more time before we change our little subject. But yeah, I think it's very well done. It's very cool. But like as I mentioned, you know, did it start off legit and then just people expecting? You know, I was saying about in the past certain programs. You know, it starts off legit and then the TV companies just want more, 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 and then if nothing happens, they still want something, don't they? So, you know, I think it's
they have to try and produce stuff, which is it.
When, like you say, for us, obviously, it's not about that. It's being honest, but I guess if people want it so much, he's got to make something happen.
Oh, exactly. It's the faces that get me. They look too real.
Yeah, I think.
Same with
think
that one. I mean, there might be a curtain behind there. I don't know if it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, it's the same photographer who took these.
Yeah,
That's the point.
Yeah, it does look like
the same guy.
It is.
yeah.
I actually never realised that. I found these images separately. It is, yeah. Very
Well,
interesting.
there you go. I'm going to say it's not
Fair.
real.
Yeah,
No.
definitely.
You agree with me, Carl? It's not real, is it?
Definitely do, mate. Not real at all.
Well, so guys, I do just before we come to the end of this week's episode, thank you very much for all your comments. It's very it's happening again. It's very much appreciated. Honestly, I'm fine until we start doing paranormal stuff and I can't talk. Don't forget, everybody, we are sponsored, as you can see in the bottom corner and on here, sponsored by Paranormal Technology, Paratech. You're not just buying equipment, you're buying an experience. And as I mentioned, all our equipment is from Mark, and he's absolutely fantastic. And the stuff is
good
amazing.
stuff as well.
Well, that's what I mean. You've
Brilliant.
used investigations like the music box. I love the music box. And, even when we did use a radar pod for the first time, and because you two saw the monk at the back of the door and then it started going off and we were at the Wally Abbey, the gear is absolutely amazing, everyone. So please do make sure you have a look. And like I said, if you show him that you have liked our page, he will give you 10% off your first offer. So absolute win.
Well worth it.
Oh, definitely. And,
Definitely.
not expensive as well. As I mentioned in the past, a lot of time you go on eBay, you type in paranormal equipment, it is triple the price. Like a spirit box costs 300 quid or something, doesn't it? It's
Exactly.
Even the flashing cat balls have gone up to 20 odd quid when you get them from Poundland.
Yeah.
Mate, it's no problem. It's much appreciated. Obviously, you're helping us as well, and us helping you, and obviously a working relationship. Hopefully, we will get Mark on the live at some point and be able to do an investigation together. Obviously, when restrictions do lift. So I'm really, really excited for that. So, have you enjoyed your first official camera episode with us, Carl?
I certainly have, mate. It's been brilliant.
Ah, good, mate.
It's a pleasure having you, mate.
It's taken a while.
Thank
We
you.
got there. We spent 2 hours
Got there
yesterday.
in the end.
We did. We got there in the end. It's been amazing. We're really pleased to have you part of the team, and of course Bob and.
Oh, definitely, mate. Definitely, good guy.
Thank you. Love it.
And I'm just like we was talking about this, everyone. This sort of off topic, but last Friday, as we mentioned, we tried so hard to go live from locations. I literally drove. We must have drove for 2 hours without stopping.
Yeah.
And this place is only 40 minutes away, so I don't know how we drove for 2 hours. It took us the longest back road around Clitheroe to the M6 I've done in my life. And then we found somewhere, and then we got out, and there was mud everywhere. There was mud all over my car. Bob was getting terrified going around these country lanes with me driving.
I hate country lanes. I really do. They're horrible.
We should have just gone live from the car, and people could have just done the drive with us, because it was immense. But this one is about making memories, having some fun, and of course, finding that evidence and that proof here about obviously paranormal activity and life after death and spirit being around us. So don't forget, we will be live this Friday at 9 p.m, just after. And then we will be back live again from 10 o'clock with the live investigation. Obviously, 9 p.m. is the walk around, show you where we are. I'm really excited for this one this weekend. It's a very, very special place.
Oh, very.
Immense. I've got a good feeling about this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It should make up for last weekend anyway, for the amount of driving we did. But yeah, and obviously Denise, all being well, will be with us as well. So I'd be interested to see what she picks up on as well. Because we're saying this, for this week's podcast, obviously Bob was explaining his experiences and we're having a conversation about it all to introduce him, because some of the podcast listeners aren't on Facebook, so just to so they know who he is. And it was amazing saying about the teamwork aspect. And Carl, you'll appreciate this now.
Definitely.
Like Bob isn't a medium, but that he was still picking up on stuff. When we was all together, because we're all in that same sort of mindset and that same energy with each other. And what was it, Kate or something? The flashing ball goes on.
Yes.
It was amazing, and the experiences we're all having together as a team. And I thought, that's what absolutely amazing. And like I say, I can't wait more investigations and More investigations with Dale Plant. Definitely, Mark. It happens. The joys of investigating outside. Yeah, I didn't realize. And then we went to. The plan was at the end was we tried to go to what's it called? Horton Tower, which is near Preston. So after we'd finished going through Clitheroe Wall, we ended up getting closer to home. We thought, well, we'll keep moving. And then it was this long country road, and we thought, right, we'll be okay here because it's just long open country road, which I imagine will probably take us to a car park or to the house. And then we realised, eerie feeling, we're driving down really happy, and all of a sudden there's these big gates and like no one's allowed on the ground. So it was a bit gutted with that one. But I think because you could see in the shadow in the darkest depths, the Horton Tower in the background, it looked amazing. So it's definitely, hopefully, a place we'll be able to go at some point. I need to great night again, guys. See you Friday. Take care. Definitely, Betty. See you Friday.
Yep.
Donna, how did you get into the paranormal? So I'll open this question to all three of us. So for me, my granddad was a medium. He used to take me around the spiritualist church with him, you know, from being quite young. Always had a massive interest in it. I started the awareness class at Blackpool, and now obviously I'm with Denise, who's helping me develop as well. So that's sort of quick version of how it happened with me. And since my granddad passed, obviously my aim is to be able eventually to be able to stand on a rostrum and carry on his work. And he also sort of helped Denise in her early stages, taking around the churches. So it's really cool how we finally got to meet each other, and that, you know, the roles are reversed, and she's helping me now. So it's very much appreciated, Denise. Bob, yourself, how did you get into the paranormal?
I've always been interested in paranormal, but it goes back to when I was a child, I think.
Yeah.
As I said, I had cousins that I used to visit them, and there was plenty of activity going on. Young kid, didn't understand what was going on until I was told. Scared stiff, said I'm not going there again. But we eventually did go back there, and there was chairs moving. They were telling about all sorts of things that was going on there. I had a problem with that, and then I didn't think that my dad's brother would have the same issues, which he did. And basically, that's why I've always been interested in it. We had doors slamming, we had footsteps, we had shadows, all that sort of thing. Wow. And like I say, I've done one of many, well, how can I say, 20 years ago, something might be less than that. I went to Malta and I was just taking photos randomly. I wasn't doing paranormal activity as such. And I caught loads of stuff. Amazing. And I've always been interested in it. And I use YouTube all the time when I'm watching it. Brilliant. Loved it.
Talking of Bob's Malta trip, we are trying to. Bob did send the photos off to what's it called, Angels and Ghosts. Angels and Ghosts, which is on YouTube, isn't it? So obviously Bob has lost the picture since, but I remember him showing me these pictures, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So we are trying to track down these pictures. So hopefully, if we can get them, we'll be able to share them with you on the next live on Tuesday night for obviously Paranormal Tuesday next week. Carl, you buddy, how did it start for you to getting into paranormal?
Well, for me, it was when I was younger, when I was a small child. My mum seen her great grandma, who said he's going to be able to sense spirit, and my mum's been able to pick up a lot of things. And from then on, I've sensed spirit, felt them, seen shadows, things couldn't explain. I had an imaginary friend when I was a child who I thought was imaginary, but it wasn't. Apparently, it was one of me relatives that went back from the 1800s.
Wow.
And then since then, been very interested, went to Spiritualist Church, met you at the Spiritualist Church, and now I'm part of the group. It's awesome. Love it.
The rest is history, as I say. Donna has put, is there any place in Blackpool to help you learn? Yes. Blackpool Spiritualist Church on Albert Road. It's Albert Road, isn't it? Not Albert Street, Albert Road, where Debenhams is.
Albert Road.
Yeah, if you go there, they do a awareness class on Monday nights, which I think, I'm talking to Kathy, I think it starts up again at the end of the month. I know Kenny can confirm that. But yeah, Blackpool Spiritualist Church, and that's obviously where I met Carl, and we went to the awareness class for 2.5, 3 years, I think it was. It was like 2017, wasn't it?
Somewhere around there, I think,
Yeah, so that is our little insight into our paranormal journeys. Great show tonight, guys. Enjoyed it big time. Please take care and stay safe. Jared, got a wee chat with you this week. Have at long last have the spirit portals finished. Yes, the spirit boxes are finished. Whoop! So I am excited. Mate, it's like Christmas Day for me right now. I am excited. I'm going to open a bottle of champagne now you've brought that. A bottle of champagne. I'm going to have a glass of Vimto. But Carl and Bob, thank you very much for joining us this evening, of course. And if we don't see you Friday night for our live, we will see you next Tuesday.
Tune in. Don't miss it. It's
Yes,
going to be worth it.
Definitely.
PM. Carl will be back with us now permanently, I imagine. Now we know the cameras are working.
Yep,
So
certainly will be.
Now, buddy. So we will see you very, very soon, everyone. Carl, Bob, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate.
This evening. I am so excited for this weekend. Love and light. All the very best. Adios.
All be safe.
Take care, everybody.